Good morning, everybody. Welcome welcome all to the Jerkmonger Show. This is MorningMuses. Obviously, I'm not coming at you live. I'm coming at you from the cockpit of the Jerk Machine, the Jerkmobile, the Mongermobile. I'm going to go with Mongermobile. Mongermobile sounds a little more, sounds better. Hey, so this is not going to be as deep of a thought thing. I was just having a great conversation with my son about a cool show, man, when I was growing up. Unfortunately, it's difficult to get episodes of it because I don't think it may have only lasted partial season. I don't know. I'm sure I could find it at a convention somewhere. Someone's got it, underground recorded. But the show was called The Tales of the Golden Monkey. If you guys ever get a chance to look up at least the introduction, it was a great little show. Frankly, it was terrible. Everything back then was terrible. Production values were really low back then, but they were the best they could do. I think it was probably on CBS or something like that. It was great. It was a great little show because it was right on the heels of Indiana Jones, and you could see it had an impact on even shows like Tailspin from Disney. It was just a great little show, and I love that thing. And I was just sharing with my son how it reminds me of how it makes me want to ask the question, where have all the heroes gone? Where have all the heroes? I need a hero. Anyway, it's like those shows, those movies, those stories, those comics, those cartoons. I remember Saturday mornings, man, were the best. When, especially like the early mid '80s, there was a bunch of stuff. It might even be in the '70s, but I think it probably was '70s too. Tarzan was a big deal. We were talking about Tarzan. We're talking about all these great characters from the pulp era of comics. And I think the reason why the '80s was such a big deal was because there was such a crossover. We were just at that one point where we had brand new things like Transformers and G.I. Joe as far as cartoons were concerned and stories. Obviously, G.I. Joe's go all the way back to the '60s, but we also had a heavy respect for the classic stuff, like Robert Howard's Conan, the Shadow, the Spider, some of these great characters from the old days. I mean, the Spider was pretty obscure. Conan was big in the comics, but in the cartoons and in accessibility, we had Doc Savage. We had a movie in the '70s. It was weird about that. We had what do you call it? We had Tarzan. We had Zorro. All these great characters that, I mean, they were way before my time, but they're legends. The ideas about these characters endured, and so it impacted a lot of the entertainment of my childhood. And it makes me think, wouldn't it be great if we had more stories like that? And guess what? We kind of do. There's a great comic called Jungle Adventure by Chuck Dixon and Kelsey Shannon. Awesome. I'm not sure if it's still in demand. I suggest you go on INDIEGOGO and check it out. Jungle Adventure #1. Listen, guys, these are the stories about heroism and goodness and just overall, the good guys are good and the bad guys are bad, and we need that now. There's so much gray area today. Nobody really knows what they're fighting for. They just repeat what everybody else is saying. Nobody has strength of their own to speak for what's real and what's right. They're all just bots for somebody else. I mean, I literally can't live stream because of a bot, a real live bot. Oh, it's not live. You know what I mean? It's a genuine challenge. Anyway, the point I'm making is we need more stuff like that. If you are a creator, if you love, I mean, it doesn't have to be 1990s, man. It could be pick your era if you like, but I'm just saying there's so much out there. I mean, that's what we've lost at some of these bigger companies. We've lost the love of those characters and the heart of those characters. It's really the heart. Because it's funny. I was just watching. I caught some scenes from that new animation from DC. What is it called? The Justice League versus I forget now who it is. the Fearsome Five, right? Is that right? The Fearsome Five or Evil Five or something like that. They're from the Legion of Superheroes. Whoa, that was cool. And I was a little concerned. I was a little concerned at first because they put a lot of emphasis on the female character, but here's why it worked so well. And I got to give a huge shout out to Sam Liu, director of that joint. That thing was great, and I'll tell you why. Because it wasn't like your typical Mary Sue character. It wasn't just like oh, she's so powerful. Oh my gosh, she's so great. Oh, she's so. It wasn't that. She struggled. She had problems. She was uncomfortable with herself, and she overcomes it. That's the story. That's heart. When you overcome your challenges, not when they deliver the product to you right in your face. Like, here, you're great. Be well and move on. No, you have to fight for that. Anything in life that's worth having, you have to fight for. You have to overcome. Sometimes you have to overcome your own fears, your own challenges, your own frustrations, and you got to overcome your own demons just to be better. That's what those stories tell me. That it wasn't just that they were, haha, I'm great. Sometimes they got captured. Sometimes they had to talk their way out of a situation. Sometimes they wouldn't always win, but they always overcome. That's what I love. Those are the kinds of stories we want to tell. It's easy to just put a guy in a cape and go, haha, I'm super strong, can't defeat my. Someone's asking, why is Superman, he seems really easily affected by kryptonite. I say, yeah, he has to be affected by kryptonite. He's so strong, he's so powerful, he needs a weakness. Something needs to bring him down a notch to remind him that he's not perfect. No one's perfect. We need those type of stories where the heroes are jaded a little bit and they've got troubles, but they get better. You know, that's why I think everybody loves Han Solo so much. He's not so much an anti-hero as that he's like any of us who overcomes his fear, overcomes his anxiety, overcomes his desire to be alone, to be connected with others and make everything better. That's a great story, guys. Holy moly, what a great story. So I want to challenge you guys, all of you guys who are creating comics, who are young creators, old creators, people who have a heart for good story. You don't have to tell superhero stories. It could be of anything. I hope there are some creators out there that are going to turn me on to all sorts of genre. I'm really hoping that. I want to expand. I want to explore new ideas. They don't always have to be capes and tights, but I'll tell you what, if you guys can do that, you'll leave this world with a stamp of beauty that reminds us of where we came from and where we can go. If we're thoughtful about it, if we want it enough, we can be the heroes that we create and we write about. So, just saying, little challenge out there. That's my morning muse this morning. Where have all the heroes gone? Check out that Jungle Adventures by Chuck Dixon and Kelsey Shannon. Also, check out that Justice League versus the Fearsome Five. It's really good. It's really good. You're gonna be like, I'm not sure, where is this going? And it has a little bit of that. All right, I grant you that. But man, it works. It really works. And it was good stuff. I gotta go. The phone's ringing. I gotta go. All right, bye.